But now we've got a situation fundamentally where things have changed in a very dramatic way. You see, the Bitcoin halving happened back in April. That means that the miners have 50% less Bitcoin that they're producing every single day. So they are producing 900 to 450 Bitcoin. Historically, in Bitcoin cycles, it takes around 6 months for this supply-demand mechanism to fully catch up. In the last few weeks, Wall Street has bought an unfathomable amount of Bitcoin.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to and watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. It is, we don't usually say dates all the time, but 11/11/24, significant date, very significant date. Have you been watching the price of Bitcoin? Because I do. I have to, because many of you out there are always firing questions at me about Bitcoin. Well, hey, new record today, 85K. And it was just last week that we hit 75K. Person I talked to who maybe he doesn't know how to program a blockchain currency, but he gets it and he can make it simple for you. Lark Davis, Wealth Mastery. Lark, it's great to have you on the show again. And man, this happened pretty quick.
You know, a lot's happened since last time we talked, and this breakout, and I've been talking about this for the past 6 months on the channel. It's that, guys, we're going to keep consolidating. It doesn't matter how long we consolidate for, how it goes. Just stay in the game, survive, keep stacking, keep focused on the big picture, because as soon as we break over 74, 75K, that's it. That's it. That's the big signal. We're off to the races. And from that point on, we're going to move real hard, real fast. And that's what we're seeing right now, because Bitcoin, it has a history of this. When it breaks its highs, it tends to break them very fast. Now, the one back in March around the sort of that ETF hype, that was a bit of an aberration, right? So because it was just this very much news event driven thing, the fundamentals didn't fully line up behind it. But now we've got a situation fundamentally where things have changed in a very dramatic way. You see, the Bitcoin halving happened back in April. That means that the miners have 50% less Bitcoin that they're producing every single day. So they are producing 900 to 450 Bitcoin. Historically, in Bitcoin cycles, it takes around 6 months for this supply-demand mechanism to fully catch up. In the last few weeks, Wall Street has bought an unfathomable amount of Bitcoin. In the last month, they've probably bought 6 to 7 months worth of miner supply. So that's just one source buying. It's not your on-chain whales, it's not your corporations or family office or any of that stuff. Just Bitcoin ETF products have seen such a high level of demand. In fact, there was one day last week, Wednesday, where Wall Street literally bought the equivalent of about 40 days of new miner production, meaning that there's just not enough new coins coming into the market. The long-term holders are holding. The new guys coming in, well, they're depending on miners and stuff to supply them with it, but they're not getting enough. So the price is going to move hard. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, I knew the breakout was coming. Once it hit broke out at 63.7, it passed that. That was the giveaway. The one thing we were talking pre-call is I can pick these Bitcoin intermediate peaks in my sleep. And I'm not the greatest technical person out there. It's just so easy because it's going to go parabolic. I think that there's nothing between now and 100,000 to stop it. And that's only 15,000. That's really not a big increase. That's 15% increase or so to get to 100K. But we're going to get to a point above that. We're going to have an exhaustion rally where everybody who wants this stuff is going to buy it. Maybe Wall Street will trigger a sell-off so they can take their profits and then buy more Bitcoin. You know, it could go down 80% from its highs. So if it goes down to 80%, we're looking at a $30,000 Bitcoin. They'll be buying it up then. And, because we know the volatility, we've seen it go down 90%. The only thing with when you're buying lows in Bitcoin is they're very, very hard to catch the low. easier to catch the high than the low.
It's a lot more forgiving with lows, though, because you have a lot more time to catch it. You don't need to perfectly buy the bottom, but generally when Bitcoin goes down, it tends to stay down for a while. When Bitcoin peaks, it tends to peak for a very short amount of time. And that's the tricky part for a lot of people. They have lots of time to buy during the bear market. $500, $1,000, whatever it is each week, and just relax, stack, wait for the market cycle to turn around.
Exactly what I do.
You have a lot of time to do that. No rush then. But when the markets are peaking, that's when you got to act fast, because things will go down real hard, real fast. That's what Bitcoin always does. It peaks and then it drops super fast. So you got to be ready if you're selling your Bitcoin to do that.
Yeah, because look, it trades on pure emotion. The markets, it's all about emotion. Yeah, there's supply and demand. Nobody will dispute that. There's less supply now from new miners, but there's no fundamental story to Bitcoin other than the amount of new coins being produced. There's nothing else. So therefore, emotion, and then it hits, my guess is 135 to 150 will be that peak, and hits that. And then all of a sudden people are sitting on big profits. And then the fear replaces the greed. The fear is, wow, I'm up 300% on my Bitcoin. I've made $100,000, $500,000. I don't want to lose that money. And then we all mutually head for the exit, and then it falls like you're trying to catch a falling knife. So we're up over 100% this year so far, year to date, right?
That's right. Just a little over 100%, or right around there currently.
Right. So besides Bitcoin, what other coins joined in this rally and you could have made even more money on?
Sure. All the big cap altcoins have been doing generally pretty well. I mean, there's a lot of the older coins that are not doing super well and are probably not going to do super well and may not even come back to their previous highs. So if you're one of the people who've been sitting around holding some of these old dinosaur coins that have no one's talking about, they're not getting any attention, you're probably going to underperform dramatically this cycle. The market loves new coins. The market loves new narratives. So we're seeing a lot of shiny new coins do really well. Coins that have come out in the last year or two. New networks like Sui and Aptos are getting a lot of attention. We're seeing meme coins, of course, being the really big winners this cycle. And look, to be very clear, 99% of the meme coins don't make it more than a couple hours in the market. They're just scams and go immediately to zero. There's a few. Yeah, there's a few that, very small percentage, that will do well. They'll get communities behind them. They'll get people who get excited about them and they start buying and holding more and believing in the narratives and sharing the memes and all that sort of stuff. And whether you love them or not, meme coins have been the best performing sector of the cryptocurrency market this year. The biggest exponential gains have happened there. And if you are going to play that game, here's the thing. You don't have to take outsized risk by trying to find the next one that's going to go from $100,000 market cap to a multi-billion-dollar market cap. The amount of people who do that are the equivalent of lottery winners, really.
Yeah.
But what you can do, you can find growing narratives and ride those waves, right? Dog with hat is a pretty good one. It's an example of that, right? So it's a hot Solana meme coin. It took a picture of a dog, they put a hat on it. People got really excited about that. And a lot of people made a lot of money on that. But it's a powerful coin with really high trading volume. Traders love it, right? People love buying it. And so it's one of those narratives that's got enough play that it'll do well enough and will outperform versus Bitcoin. Certainly. I mean, from here to the top, and we were talking about this. So if you're buying Bitcoin today, hey man, it's moving so fast. I mean, I feel like yesterday I was kind of charting out like, I got about 100% left, maybe if you go up to 150. But from today, 85K, I mean, you don't got a lot of juice left in the tank. I mean, you do, right? But if you're looking at buying Bitcoin today, or you hear this and Bitcoin's at 100K or something like that, your upside from that level is not super high, right? So if you're buying it at 100K, hoping to sell it at 150K, it's 50%. It's not bad. 50% is great. Fantastic, right? Maybe you throw a bit of leverage on there, you make it a little bit bigger. But the reality is if Bitcoin goes from 100K to 150K, a lot of these altcoins in the similar amount of time are going to do multi-100% gains, right? So if you're already riding the Bitcoin wave, fantastic. Big Bitcoin long-term fan here, by the way, buying before the breakout. But if you're looking for the late catch-up plays, it's not buying Bitcoin, okay?
Right.
What happens in the market is that the altcoin market tends to be a few weeks behind the Bitcoin move. So when Bitcoin gets to 100 or 150K, expect altcoins to surge dramatically in a few weeks after that happens.
So which ones here? You're not a financial advisor, but Bitcoin doesn't fall into that. So we don't have to worry about personal advice or anything else, because this is like saying, oh, well, I'm going to go out and buy MS64 St. Gaudens gold coins. There's no financial advice here. So which altcoins do you like?
Sure, absolutely. So there's a lot of great altcoins out there. If you want to keep the risk low, my second biggest position in my cryptocurrency portfolio is Ethereum. If you want to keep the risk relatively low for crypto, right, but have a chance to outperform versus Bitcoin at this stage in the market cycle, Ethereum's probably got a 2-to-1 will outperform versus Bitcoin, would be my guess. Yeah, I would say so. So if Bitcoin goes to 150K, Ethereum goes to 10 or 12K. And that's it.
Where is it at right now? Ethereum?
Around 3,200, 3,000 greater bucks, something like that. So
total quintuple or quadruple, somewhere around there?
Yeah, exactly. So Bitcoin's going to double. This could go up, a bit more than that, right? Other coins that I like are some of those ones that I mentioned already. The hot layer 1 blockchains that are the new coins. They're shiny, they're hot, they're new. They got the hot new tech. Everyone's talking about them. There's coins like Aptos, coins like Sui, right? I own Aptos, not Sui. They're pretty similar, both out of the Facebook crypto experiment back in the day. And the US government shut that down, but the teams left and then went off and created these blockchains. So they've kind of got that narrative working with them here as well. So these are popular, getting a lot of attention. I think as well that you'll see, I've currently got a great dog with hat long going. That's fantastic. But I think you'll see a lot of meme coins continue to do really well. And look, if you are going to go down the meme coin rabbit hole, I would say don't take undue risk. And you're already taking a lot of risk by investing in a meme coin, right? Realistically, wake up and realize what you're doing with your life, what you're doing that, okay?
Yeah. So you put
one that I like.
1% of your total crypto portfolio, 5% maybe at the most.
Exactly. Look at total asset allocation. If you're some of those 5 to 10% of your total wealth in crypto, right, then that's mostly should be in Bitcoin and Ethereum, maybe Solana as well. And if all the rest of the stuff, keep it very, very small. Okay. Don't take too much risk. But I like Brett. Brett's a really interesting one. It's the top meme coin right now on the Coinbase base chain. And I think it's got some really good potential to have a good run. It's well positioned as a leading coin on Coinbase's blockchain, essentially. So Coinbase, 150 million users globally, pretty committed to getting people on chain with their new wallet and stuff like that. So I feel like it's got that virality potential.
So you're thinking Coinbase, huh? And hey, so let's go back to, we talked about Facebook. Once upon a time, Facebook was going to do their own crypto. And then the Treasury Department put the kibosh on it. I think it was Janet Yellen who did, in fact. And that was the end of that. But now we have a pro-crypto president. And so not just Facebook, but any company, Tesla, it's like, why not put all your vendors and all of your, all the people you pay money to and all the people that pay you money, why not put them on a coin? And then, because they can convert that coin anytime they want to cash. Maybe you make it a stable coin, but maybe not. Do you encourage people to hold on to it if they don't need the money and effectively invest their savings in your coin? Then you gave them a coin that you didn't have to actually pay out cash for. It's technically a liability on your books. I think that's the way the accounting code would do it. I think we could see the largest corporations in the world, the Microsofts, the Googles, you'd be crazy not to issue your own coin exclusively for payments to your vendors, and then they could convert almost for free. Why not do it?
Look, we're seeing a level of corporate adoption that's hard to fathom. And any of the stories that I'm just going to give you a few examples of here, that if any of this stuff had happened 5 years ago, it would be game-changing news. Now it's almost a footnote. So Sony's building a layer 2 blockchain. So that's really big news. Sony, one of the biggest, electronics manufacturers in the world, they're building a crypto chain. BlackRock, of course, very famous launching the Bitcoin ETFs. But beyond that, Listen to Larry Fink. Listen to what he talks about. Yeah, he loves Bitcoin, but what he's really excited about is the tokenization of literally everything. He wants to bring all markets, all assets on chain. Okay, remove the clearinghouses, reduce friction, all that kind of stuff. And BlackRock's going to be right at the center of that. Okay, we're seeing some of the biggest banks in the world bringing bonds and stuff on chain. We're seeing countries launching stable coins. The UAE just launched Emirati Dirham stable coin. Microsoft, speaking of Microsoft, they are looking at a shareholder vote to add Bitcoin to their reserves because they're sitting on hundreds of billions of dollars of cash, which is being debased and losing value. So why not add some Bitcoin? I don't know if that vote's going to pass, but the fact that they're voting on it is massive in of itself. So yeah, we're going to see increasing adoption from corporations right across the board, whether it's buying Bitcoin, launching products, launching services, or launching their own chains. The next 10 years probably in the market are probably going to be the really the golden age of the cryptocurrency asset class. We've gone past is this a serious investment class or not? BlackRock broke that open. Now we're in it's a serious investment asset class. You should be paying attention to it. In the next 10 years, everybody's scrambling to get a piece of the pie and have their strategy and launch their products.
Agreed. So a company like Apple, and honestly, I don't think Microsoft really needed to take that shareholder vote. I think it's more posturing and signaling to the market where they're heading. But a company like Apple, it's like, we'll pay you in cash if you want, or we'll pay you 101.5% in an Apple coin, right? So you're a vendor at Apple, you'd be crazy not to take it because you instantly up your profit margin. But if it's a coin that could improve in value, then you hold on to it, whatever you don't need, or you take the 100 and you convert it and you leave the 1.5% there. So you give your vendors incentives to retain the coin and to get paid in it. Right? I mean, it sounds like the greatest thing ever because even if rates stay high, relatively high, every day that they don't convert it, you're making money on the float.
That's it. Absolutely. It's very, very true. We're going to see a lot of this, whether it's loyalty points or stable coins launched we have PayPal, they launched a stable coin, right? Or whether it's just Apple coin. It's all coming. Tim Cook has signaled that he's a fan of, he holds Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Apple's been the sort of will they, won't they for a long time, and they've made some positive steps, but it's all going to happen. I 100% think something like that's going to happen, and a lot of these big corporations will go down that route. All
right. Well, hey, appreciate you coming on. Just tell us, how do we connect with you on the web? Where do we find you at?
Absolutely. Come find me on X. Come find me on YouTube, Lark Davis. Make sure it's the verified accounts, of course. And come check out our newsletter, The Wealth Mastery. You can find it at thewealthmastery.io. 145,000 people a week reading this bad boy.
I'm one of them. I catch it every time I can, and appreciate you coming on. Got a question for Lark or me? Email kl@kerrylutz.com, and you'll find a link to Lark's site on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Just go there. While you're there, please sign up for your free newsletter. We got 50,000 subs now, Lark, and we're following in your footsteps.
Fantastic. Well done.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.